voice or something was just wrong and clipped with the audio. So I thought, you know what, why not just film a type of video like that again? As you guys may know, may not know, I actually read most of the books that I read on my Kindle. So the collection that I have here is not necessarily everything that I read at the moment. Some of these books are also like, I don't know, like 8 years old. I thought that it could be fun to film another one of these videos. So if you're seriously not interested in any of the rambling stuff, then I hope that you can still enjoy the book triggers. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so I did put out my headphones just because they were very annoying. So let's just start off with the first. Another thing I should mention, I have not even read all of these, but I'll still do triggers with them. So this one is the perfect, but not really, marriage by Geneva Rose. Geneva Rose. That's such a pretty name. And I've been meaning to read this for a while now, so I got it on our trip to the States earlier this year. Actually, it wasn't earlier this year. In September. From Target. But I just have not gotten around to reading it yet. Because life, you know. So this book is about a woman, and the husband of said woman is actually having an affair with another woman, and then that woman, she is brutally murdered, and the wife, I forgot to add, is a defense attorney, so she now has to defend her husband because he is the prime suspect in the murder of his mistress. I thought that sounded pretty cool, and I've really been into like thrillers lately. If you've ever heard of Frida McFadden, she's the best thriller author, hands down. Let me think. I literally have none of her books in paperback just because they're so hard to find anywhere. But I read The Housemaid. I think that was my first book by her, and it's like the most famous, I bet. The Perfect Son, The Inmate, One by One, The Housemaid in Secret. There was something else that I'm forgetting, but a lot of great books. They're like really fast-paced reads, and she always gets me with those plot twists. Like, you know, when after a while you get to know an author, and then you can kind of predict the plot twists because you know how this person thinks and how this person writes her books. So that is kind of the case. After a while of reading her books, I have been getting better at guessing where she's going with the story, but she still always throws one plot twist in there where you're like, okay. Okay, let's move on. Another book I have not yet read. This is Daisy So much for that book. I will get to it sometime. Do you sense a pattern here? This is another book I haven't read. It is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. And I want to read this book, I really do, but it's in third person perspective, and I don't like reading that. I made it to page 22. And then I also decided that I was not in the right mind space to read this. Is that just a me thing? Or do other people feel like that? I don't know. But this one is about Evangeline Fox. She has believed in happily ever after until she learns that the love of her life is about to marry another and her dreams are shattered. And then she goes to the Prince of Hearts, I think it is. Yeah, Prince of Hearts, to ask him for his help. And then in exchange for his help, he asks for 3 kisses to be given at the time and place of his choosing. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I've heard a lot of good things about this book. And a lot of you guys, last time I showed, I think it was like in my haul, because I also got this in the States. Lots of you guys said that you really, really like this book. So, if you know any of these books shown in the video and you know that I haven't read it, or even if I have read it, please share your opinion. Okay, then we have Better Than the Movies. Finally, a book I have read. So this by Lynn Painter. I've been meaning to get her newer releases because I think this was her first novel, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Like I said, reading with life going on has just kind of taken a step back, unfortunately, and my taste in books always varies depending on how stressful my life is at the moment. So sometimes I'll just need like a good rom-com, a good palate cleanser, you know, and then sometimes I'll be like totally into thrillers and I'll read only those, and then other times I have phases where I'll go through like rereads. I'll read Love in Other Words, I'll read Archer's Voice, I'll read The Simple Wild. Like those are my top 3 books, and they just give me so much comfort, so I just go back and read those. But this book is a typical rom-com. It's nothing deep or anything, but like I said, it's sometimes you just need books like that are like simple and easy. If you guys know, what's it called? Oh, Duff, or The Duff, I'm not sure. Designated Ugly Fat Friend, I believe. This book is like that. Basically, Liz has a crush on someone. I'm trying to get this from my memory because it's been a while since I've read this book. But Liz has a crush on someone, and she's neighbors with Wes and Wesley. I think Bennett is his name. Yeah, Wes Bennett. They don't like each other. They annoy each other. They've just always lived next door and everything. And for some reason, he offers to help her. Oh, I think it was in exchange for like a parking spot or something. It's slowly coming back to me. But he basically tries to help her get the other guy that she likes, and then, you know, the typical thing that happens ends up happening. So this was a very cute book. I think I read this in like 1 or maybe 2 sittings. As I said, nothing deep, but it's cute. I'm so sorry for confusing me or confusing you with my taste in books. I feel like I can't really decide what I like, because sometimes, like I said, it's thriller and horror, and sometimes it's like rom-coms and like romance novels. I'm sorry. Next we have Book Lovers by Beach Read. I did love that one. But I did not like You and Me on Vacation, or People We Meet on Vacation. Did not really like that one. This one was okay. Book lovers, I liked it, but I found myself getting a little bit bored throughout this book. However, her writing is the best. The banter between these characters. So this is about Charlie and Nora. Does anybody else just like dramatically forget what happens in books? So basically, Nora is a literary agent, and Charlie is an editor, I believe. Yeah, he's an editor with a gift for creating bestsellers, and they hate each other. They're like nemesis. And her sister, Nora's sister, Nora can tell that something is wrong with her, and so her sister persuades her to go to this town. I don't even know. Oh yeah, in Sunshine Falls. Sunshine. Oh. And it's a small town straight out of a romance novel. But guess who she meets there? It's Charlie. It's Charlie. And the story goes from there. It was okay. Like I said, I got bored a little bit through, but I do love the small town romance book trope. I don't even know what this is. I buy my books used. Most of them at least, so I have no clue what this is. Magical, delightful, utterly one of a kind. Allie Hazelwood from The Love Hypothesis, also a good book. Okay, next. I'm throwing out the romance novels right now. Next we have R-T-B-O-N-E-S by C-O-L-L-E-E-N-H-O-O-V-E-R. Colleen Hoover. This is a beautiful book. I loved this book. I actually read this on my Kindle like, I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago. I read this a long time ago. But I did decide to get the paperback because I sometimes do that when I read like a Kindle book that I really, really like. Then I'll just get the paperback version of it because I love it so much. So this is about Bea and Samson. So Bea, a tragic happens to her and she has to go live with her father in Houston. I remember it was Houston because Hurricane Ike is mentioned in this book, and Galveston is also mentioned in this book, and that is the time, like the exact time that I lived there. I thought that was so cool. Like I knew exactly what she was talking about because I lived through that hurricane. But anyway, Samson is this rich guy, and Bea obviously comes from nothing and lives with her father, who she was estranged from. And he has a wife and a stepdaughter and everything like that, so she has to adjust to that new life until she leaves for college. And then it's her and Samson's romance because they kind of bond over something, and then there's like a plot twist at the end that's just like heartbreaking. Like, this book, guys. I know Colleen Hoover is like a lot of mixed opinions on her are out there. But honestly, I love her books. I love her writing and her plot twists. They almost always get me. Okay, next. Oh boy, I'm realizing now that I have a lot of books by the same author. It's a thriller. And it gets crazy from there. She finds some interesting stuff. And there's a bunch of things, like, with their kids and everything. Like, this was a very good book. Highly recommend, highly recommend, highly recommend. It keeps you on your toes. I think I did read this in one sitting, to be honest. I was about to say last book by Colleen Hoover, but it's actually not. We have Confess, also by Miss Colleen Hoover. So this book I actually read a really long time ago, and I don't remember that much about it. But it's about Auburn and Owen, I believe his name is. Owen, yes. Oh, right. So, one day she is in search for a job, and she walks into this art studio where Owen works, and I think he agrees to hire her. And there's a lot of secrets. I don't know how else to tell you this without spoiling anything. I don't want to spoiler anything for you guys. But yeah, he has this art with all of these confessions from people, and it's beautiful art. And they even have, I thought this was so cool. Hold on. They even have like pictures of the art. Like, I thought that was really cool. Like a really cool touch to the book. But yeah, there's a lot of other things going on, but that's like the gist of it, basically. I don't remember that much about this book. Like I said, it's been a while, but I do remember really liking it and finding it underrated, because I don't think a lot of people talk about this book. Okay. Should we mix it up? Let's actually mix it up. Let's go with a hardcover. And I normally hate hardcover books. The only reason I got this hardcover was because I wanted to read this new release so badly that it wasn't out in paperback yet, so I got it in hardcover, and guess what? It's been months and I haven't read it. Might as well waited until I got the paperback, but no. This is Happy Place, also by Emily Henry, and like I said, I love her banter in books. It is the absolute best, the banter between the two main characters. So good. Oh look, we have another Colleen Hoover quote. So this one, 2 X's, 1 packed. Could this holiday change everything? Dun dun dun. So basically this is about Harriet and Wynne. And every year, I think it's at least every year. I don't even know where the blurb is. Oh, there we go. Yeah, every year they take a holiday to this, is it a lake house? I don't even know. But that cottage is actually being put up for sale. But every year they used to go to said cottage with their friends. And now that it's being sold, there's something a little different going on, because Harriet and Wynne actually broke up, I think like half a year prior. Yeah, 6 months ago. And they haven't told any of their friends. And so they go on this trip, because it's their last trip, you know, they don't want to ruin it. And they go on this trip and they pretend to still be together. I think that sounds like a very good premise for a book. But like I said, I haven't really been in the romance novel mood lately. I've been in my thriller era, so you're not from Germany, then you probably don't know this show, but it's called Die Ernährungsdocs. And basically, it's like a show where these are all nutrition scientists, if that's a word, and people with chronic illnesses, with inflammations, whatever is going on in their body, diabetes, for example. They go to these three peeps here, and they seek advice how to change their nutrition in order to positively impact their illness or whatever it is they may be dealing with. And already as a kid, I found that so interesting. Like, you could literally change so much just by eating some things that are, or that have anti-inflammatory properties or anything like that. Like, that was so interesting to me. And I actually wrote my bachelor's thesis on like diabetes type 2 and fascia training, like how diabetes type 2 could impact your fascia. Deine Faszien. You guys hopefully know what I mean. If you don't know what fascias, I don't even know the plural of that word. What that is, it's basically like it's around your muscles, it surrounds it, and it can be very, very hard. For example, that's what black rolling is basically for. When you roll over your muscles, you're actually rolling your fascia, basically, in a nutshell. And I thought it was really interesting to see the correlation between diabetes type 2 and how many people may have like problems with their fascia or even illnesses that come out of that. I think you guessed that. Like, you can tell that I wrote this thesis in German because I have no idea how to translate any of it in English. But this is a book that I read in order to prepare for my thesis. So this is basically just a book on diabetes type 2, how you can cure it, what you should eat. I think there are even, oh my goodness. Oh, there's even I haven't seen this until now. Oh my goodness. There's even a Ernährungs- und Bewegungstagebuch, which is like a nutrition and movement diary, basically, so you can see how much you do, really. And then wait, I could totally make this. They have a bunch of recipes in the back. So this is like an Asia vegetable noodle soup. Wait, oh, it's with tofu. I'm not a huge fan of tofu. I remember for my thesis, I also wrote to Robert Schleib. He's like a fascia expert in Germany, and if you know anything about fascia, then you would know that name. And I just, like, out of the blue, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna write to him if he has any, like, studies that he's recently done that I could use for my thesis, or if he has any information on that topic, because there's not very much to correlation between fascia training and diabetes type 2. So I asked him, and I was so surprised when, like, an hour later he was like, oh yeah, here, you can get this and this in my new book. And then he, like, on PubMed, he, like, attached so many studies that I could check out, and I was like, oh my goodness, I feel like a celebrity just answered me. But I did end up getting his book. It was crazy expensive, but it's called Der Faszienatlas, I think it is. Training. I can tell you exactly what it looks like, but I literally do not remember the title. Oops. Okay. Are you bored yet? I hope not. In case you couldn't tell, like serial